Tzu Chi volunteers in Malaysia work together with UNHCR to help Rohingya refugees. Master Cheng Yen's lectures on the Buddhist Sutra have been compiled and published in a book. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. The 66th UN Department of Public Information NGO Conference held its latest day of forums in Gyeongju, South Korea on June 1st. The conference discussed education initiatives to promote global citizenship as well as sustainable development. Tzu Chi representatives were there to discuss the foundation's work as it aligns with the UN goals.
I show them all the video clips in order to let them know that these are the living conditions of the refugees.
Tzu Chi representatives introduced education platforms of Tzu Chi schools at the UNDP NGO Conference in Gyeongju, South Korea, to add to the discussion of education to foster sustainable development and global citizenship.
Tzu Chi assists Syrian refugees wherever they are, no matter whether in places like Turkey or Syria. Tzu Chi provides them with all the help we can. On the one hand, we want students to understand the plight of the refugees, and on the other hand, we want them to really consider what they can do to help, turning thoughts into action. This will also inspire a sense of global citizenship among students.
I have a video to show about what the kids have learned from our classes.
Both relief efforts and encouraging education go hand in hand in achieving Tzu Chi's global mission. It is clear that quality education must form the foundation of a world committed to sustainable development.
I'm really inspired by the Tzu Chi activities in Taiwan and as well as other areas in the world. That's an amazing story.
The conference also attracted a representative from the NGO Executive Committee to join, who used a webcast to broadcast the talk to an even wider audience.
I believe that information is power, and if we can get the information out to more people, then I feel like I've done my service. So that's primarily my purpose here today is to show the good work that the Tzu Chi Foundation is doing, as well as the collaborative NGOs in the community.
By promoting education and understanding to more and more people, the force for global change grows. In addition to relief efforts, Tzu Chi is dedicated to improving education across the world in order to promote an egalitarian future.
In Penang, Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers and the United Nations High Commission for Refugees cooperated to visit a community of Rohingya refugees. Both sides will join hands to improve the refugees' living conditions after assessing their needs.
Next to this busy street, we turn the corner into this lane. There are a row of interconnected wooden houses. This area is called Kotajiam, where some 200 Rohingya families live, with many being Tzu Chi care recipients. For the first time, Tzu Chi is cooperating with UNHCR to improve their living conditions.
We've also met with a number of other NGOs, government officials as well. So in order to substantiate our understanding about what's happening and what can be done to ensure that refugees in Penang will be able to enjoy better living conditions in various areas, whether it's health, access to health services, or access to education, or like having proper work opportunities when appropriate. So that's basically it. Certainly we can extend our discussion with Tzu Chi Foundation.
6 members of the UNHCR are present today, paying a visit to these refugees to discuss issues of education and health.
UNHCR, we are today here to talk to the people of persons of our concern and to learn more about their challenges, and this information will help us to analyze how we can support them further. Thank you.
After collecting data and making assessments, a plan will be made to improve the squalid living conditions of these refugees.
In the year 2000, the Tzu Chi Foundation formed an alliance with the French medical NGO Médecins du Monde, or MDN, in Ethiopia in order to construct a public hospital for the town of Debri Burhan. Earlier in 1993, Tzu Chi and MDM first worked together to establish medical assistance programs to improve Ethiopia's healthcare infrastructure. Here's more.
In the year 2000, Debre Birhan town in Ethiopia completed construction of its first modern hospital. The town began its constructions in 1935 and through wars and disasters was finally able to establish a modern medical facility after 65 years.
With a philosophy of respecting all human life, the Médecins du Monde organization is co-financing this hospital project. This plaque is a testament to the love that made this hospital possible. A hospital of this size in Taiwan may only serve a population of 20 to 30,000 people. However, here in Ethiopia's Debre Birhan, over 1.7 million people rely on the medical care this hospital provides.
Population of the area, of the town and the surrounding area. This hospital is serving 1.7 million people. It means the need is great.
Starving children and frail women are commonly images portraying Ethiopians abroad. Tzu Chi, in cooperation with the French association MDM, cooperated to improve health and living standards in the country. The two organizations first worked together in February of 1993 to establish a fund for improving healthcare infrastructure by establishing medical stations and training medical personnel. Their second joint effort was the construction of the hospital in Debre Birhan town.
The first medical station built here was completed in 1993.
On today's visit, it just so happened that a young woman who had just given birth had come with a medical problem. Her placenta had remained in her womb after the birth. Physicians at the hospital addressed the problem immediately, and Tzu Chi volunteers are present to witness the professional, quality care that is provided. For the next 3 years, the hospital will receive new and improved medical equipment and training for its use. Additionally, a crucial catchment station for water treatment will also be established.
我知道的，之前他们的村民都要拿着瓮到山里面，或者山谷里面去取水。
Before, the villagers would all carry jars up to the mountain valley to collect water. They would spend so much time doing this, the children wouldn't be able to study because they would always be going to fetch water. Tzu Chi helped establish a water source in the area so that children can easily collect water from 9 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. The pipes alongside the mountain paths bring the water down to the residents, but the pipe system is very old and wasn't maintained very well. So we sent some volunteers out to fix up the system, repair leaks, and help maintain the water supply for the locals.
还有我们的李志成师兄，因为他做营建的，帮忙把那个水管坏掉的地方、漏水的地方修复好。
Tzu Chi is committed to caring for the poor and suffering people of Ethiopia, and their love has already left a lasting impact on communities here.
The Tzu Chi Thailand chapter offers free clinics on the fourth Sunday of each month. The last such event was held on May 22nd, marking the 17th free clinic. This year, the medical professionals of Chulalongkorn University also join in to support the free clinic.
In the past, this free medical clinic was outside underneath this big tent. But this year, because of the large numbers of people, this tent is only used for registration, health measurements, and health education. Actual clinic services have been moved inside Jingsa Hall, with a group of doctors from Ramathabadi Hospital being quite moved.
As the team leader from Ramathabadi Hospital and as an ophthalmologist, my duties include assisting the team to overcome any difficulties. I would like to thank Tzu Chi for giving us the opportunity to offer these services.
In addition, Bampeo Hospital also supports the clinic, with Deputy Superintendent of the hospital and practicing pharmacist Kong Gaskran Juratham Thamako working at the clinic area, helping to ease the concerns of patients. The Tzu Chi Thailand chapter hosts this free clinic on the fourth Sunday of every month, providing a vital service to the refugee population. Davis from Pakistan has trouble walking because of a car accident. Last month, he sought these free medical services, and this month, he's working as a volunteer.
And I'm really grateful to the team of Tzu Chi Clinic that they have given this opportunity to me and to the disabled people. They need such forms to show their talents, that even though we are really not able like normal people, but I believe that we are gifted people. We are people not with disabilities but with special abilities.
In order to do a good job, every person is important. After visiting Tzu Chi in Taiwan, members of the Chulalongkorn University joined the medical team in May and had a new idea.
Today, we found that some of the habits of refugees may cause some health problems. So after some discussions, we thought about doing some health education aside from clinic services. We hope that these programs can teach them some common sense when it comes to health.
Prevention may ultimately be better than treatment. The 17th free health clinic held by Tzu Chi is providing a broader range of services. As this clinic offers a waiting area for children, the parents can conveniently seek medical attention.
Since 1984, Master Cheng Yen has given 3 complete lectures on the Sutra of the 8 Realizations of Great Beings. To compile these lectures taught by the Master, Dharma masters at the Jingsi abode, cultivators, Tzu Chi staff, and volunteers work together to transcribe the teachings from tapes. Let's take a look at the work that went behind the publication of this book.
In April 2016, Ecuador was struck by a magnitude 7.8 earthquake. A year earlier, tens of thousands of people were displaced after a major earthquake rocked Nepal. In the Sutra of the 8 Realizations of Great Beings, the first awakening is, the world is impermanent, countries are perilous and fragile.
天地不调和，那就会造成天灾。那么人世界。人与人之间不调和，就会造成人祸。不调和就是病态。
When the Sutra of the 8 Realizations of Great Beings was published, the Master said it is the most practical book. Since last year, many disasters, both natural and man-made ones, have taken place, not just in Taiwan, but in different parts of the world.
Worried about frequent occurrence of disasters in the world, Master Cheng Yen began giving complete lectures on the Sutra of the 8 Realizations of Great Beings in 1984. After the lectures were given, an editorial team started transcribing the lectures from tapes in 2012.
If you missed the complete lectures by the Master, we're presenting the entire compilation, so people can study her lectures of the early days.
The Master speaks with simple terms to teach us. You won't feel that you cannot connect with events in the past. In fact, she is telling you about things that are happening around you, so you can relate to them.
Back when the Kosovo War was ongoing in 1999, Tzu Chi volunteers delivered medicine and daily supplies to those in need. When the 9/21 earthquake devastated Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers also carried out disaster relief while realizing how life is impermanent.
Whenever disasters strike, many lives can be lost. Large-scale disasters can strike at any moment, and we cannot foresee it. Impermanence is normal.
Lectures on the Sutra of the 8 Realizations of Great Beings is a compilation of 20 years of lectures taught by Master Cheng Yen. It applies Buddhist teachings to happenings in the modern world for the readers to comprehend the Dharma easily.
Tzu Chi volunteers in the Taichung area have long visited the local detention center to provide the inmates with lessons on Jingsi aphorisms. After a year of study, some of the inmates were excited to show what they learned by putting on a play.
After half a year of practice, the inmates at the Taichung Detention Center are ready to perform their play inspired by Jingsi aphorisms. The inmates' performance was met with applause. Tzu Chi volunteers have long visited this detention center to teach them Jingsi aphorisms.
There are 2 themes in the play. One is that to forgive others is in fact being kind to oneself. We have also seen on TV how Tzu Chi volunteers are always on the front lines helping and giving support. Our play also is in honor of their effort.
After a year of hard work and seeing the fruits of their labor now, it seems they have really taken the Jingsi aphorisms to heart.
This past year, the inmates have not only studied Jingsi aphorisms, but have also felt the loving care of the volunteers.
I hope the seeds planted in their hearts can continue to grow. We hope for more resources in society to help reform the inmates here, such as Master Cheng Yen's words of wisdom.
From script writing to turning old curtains into costumes, everything in the play was done by the inmates themselves. The success of the performance and a job well done has given these inmates a sense of confidence that had long been lost.
Beginning in 1989, the EPA initiated a recycling program for used tires in Taiwan. Prior to Lunar New Year this year, two of Taiwan's biggest users of recycled tires temporarily suspended operations, disrupting the normal distribution of used tires and causing them to pile up throughout Taiwan. Here's our in-depth report into this problem.
Cars traveling along the road are dependent upon their tires, which play a key role in the operation of the vehicle. To guarantee road safety, tires need to be regularly replaced.
The general life of a tire in terms of mileage is about 35,000 kilometers. In terms of years, this is about 5 years of safe driving. This is also dependent upon your driving habits, but we say about 1.6 centimeters of tread is safe.
Due to the large number of tires auto shops and tire factories go through, they typically have a long-term relationship with recyclers who take a fixed amount of these tires each day. Now they are facing the dilemma that no one wants to accept these tires.
Probably a record day would see 160 used tires. Is it inconvenient? Yes. There's no place for them to go, and we can't put them outside, as the EPA will issue a fine.
As for these shops, we can help them delay a bit. But each day we need to empty our trucks. Do the shops complain? Naturally they do. Why does it take us so long to visit them? Now auto shops are calling us and begging us to take these used tires. This never happened before. In the past, if we didn't show up quickly, someone else would go there and take away the tires.
In order to prevent tires from being discarded, in 1989, the government began subsidizing companies to process used tires, paying 3.2 NT dollars per kilogram to encourage the development of a supply chain to process such tires. The irony is that used tire processors now have mountains of used tires at their facilities. This is partly because Taiwan's two major reuse organizations, Yuanfengyu and Taiwan Cogeneration, both undertook furnace repairs prior to Lunar New Year and temporarily suspended the purchase of tires, leading to an oversupply situation.
According to last year's data, each month we had about 5,700 to 5,800 metric tons, and the amount that these agencies can handle is about 6,000 to 6,500 metric tons. So there's a balance between supply and demand. However, when they shut down for repairs or during peak periods, there's a little imbalance, which may take a few months to slowly digest this supply.
Not only are tires accumulating at reuse centers, but these tires, which have been already shredded to an average size of 2.5 centimeters, are also starting to pile up. Taiwan's annual used tire recycling amounts to nearly 12,000 tons, with nearly 70% shredded into small pieces and used as fuel, with another 20% ground into crumb rubber to be used as flooring or sound-absorbing panels. Only 10% is being further processed through pyrolysis and reused in tire production. Yuanfengyu and Taiwan Cogeneration account for 82% of shredded tire volume, meaning that they hold the key to waste tire recycling in Taiwan.
Working in this industry is quite difficult because there are problems in the delivery supply chain, which has led prices to plummet. At the moment, the price has dropped to about 80 cents or less than a single NT dollar per kilogram. At this time, we have increased our volume to producing shredded rubber pieces, but it's hard for us to sell because of the 13 tire processors. There are only 2 which use this as fuel.
Without being able to burn all these rubber scraps, these companies have no choice but to stockpile these tires, which can in turn become a hotbed for dengue fever, further adding to this tire recycling crisis.
In Taoyuan, Taiwan, Tzu Chi volunteers recently helped a care recipient and his family repair their dilapidated house. Tzu Chi care recipient Mr. Huang, who requires dialysis treatment, lives with his elderly mother, ill brother, and 2 children. Fortunately, his cousin has provided him with a place to stay. Since the house is in need of repairs, Tzu Chi volunteers lend a hand to make the house safer and more comfortable. In Taoyuan, the roof tiles and beams of this house have been badly damaged. Fortunately, Tzu Chi volunteers have taken on this huge repair task.
If we don't make the repairs, they have to spend $300 on rent every month. It's a heavy burden to them.
Tzu Chi care recipient Mr. Huang needs to receive monthly dialysis treatment. In addition, he has to care for his 80-some-year-old mother, 2 children, and elder brother who suffered a stroke. Fortunately, his cousin has provided him with a place to live.
How can he work? He needs dialysis treatment and he cannot see clearly. How can he work?
A volunteer who's a mason climbs up the house roof with sponges to repair the tiles. The tiles he saved from past construction projects are put to good use here. Under the heat, the volunteers spent 6 hours repairing the roof of the house, hoping to lessen the financial burden on this care recipient while providing him with a safe and clean living environment. In Singapore, Tzu Chi began caring for an elderly lady, Wang Song Chen, in January of this year. She suffers from curvature of the spine and is unable to work. She hopes to rent out one of her rooms. Unfortunately, her apartment is in disrepair, so Tzu Chi volunteers have pitched in to clean and repaint her house. The 79-year-old grandmother Wang So Chen has back pain and can't work. She hopes to rent a room to generate income. Unfortunately, her house is cluttered and needs to be cleaned thoroughly.
For an elderly person to physically deal with all these items is quite a burden, so Tzu Chi volunteers came and helped the elderly.
Each of these items were presented to this elderly woman to get her permission to discard items. After 2 hours of communication, volunteers assess what items are useless and what can be discarded.
We are taking those that can be recycled and given away.
What may not be important for us may actually be important to her, so we have to be respectful during the sorting process.
Originally, this elderly woman wouldn't allow other people to touch this Buddha altar table, though she has softened her stance when it comes to Tzu Chi volunteers. After 9 hours of cleaning and painting, this apartment has a sparkling new look.
It has been a great help. Everything is so clean and even repainted. I want to thank you for your help, as I am quite happy now.
Before leaving, Tzu Chi volunteers label each box and tell this elderly woman about the contents. This final act of compassion inspires gratitude and thanks in this care recipient. That's it for today's program. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.